Hey guys, we just got set up out here. Sun's just starting to go down. Got out here kind of late. I get off work till late this evening, so we just got out here, got everything set up. Got the Con cooler, definitely my favorite brand of cooler. Some Pulp Theory. This is actually a new beer. Haven't tried it yet. Odell Brewing Company though. Got the water out here. This is kind of like the Go box. It's got everything in, basically blankets, anything you need out here, pillows, some tools, tighten up wrenches, jet boil. Lily's out here. She doesn't really do much though. So kind of an annoying thing is, I don't know how it happened, but I cut my finger doing something, and then I started like touching my clothes, and then I wiped it all over my pants. I'm not sure if that'll ever come out, but it's just one of those things. Got the tent set up. Usually I put the little stakes in for this, but the ground here is pretty solid. I couldn't really get the stakes in very well at all, so we're just gonna leave it like that. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. It's a little chilly out here, about 60 degrees, but pretty wide open views, sunset. This must have been a little burn area. All the trees look like they had been burned. Lily. Hey. The most ferocious golden doodle you'll ever meet. Just in time for the sunrise. Got pretty chilly last night, not gonna lie. Had all the windows open though, so probably would have helped if I would have closed the windows. Trying out this new French press today. It's kind of like a thermos and French press, kind of intermingled. It says Overlander on it. Got the jet boil going. This thing will boil water in like a minute, which is pretty nice. It has something to do with those fins down there. They make it a little faster than like a normal boil. And I just use this nice little thing to light it up. wanted to show you guys how I pat my cooler. This is a 70-liter con cooler. It's got this little kicker on the side, so it's like a little metal thing right there. It sits there, you push it up, it hooks right up into that groove, and then you can set this divider in here. Also kind of serves as a cutting board, as you can see, and this you can set it right up on here and use it as kind of like a table or cutting board or whatever. But how I do it is, so I use this as a divider. I throw all my ice on the left side here, and then I put stuff that's like good to get wet, like drinks and beer and stuff like that. I put that on the ice, and then stuff that I don't want to get wet, I put these little ice packs down, and they kind of keep, because some of the water when it melts, it'll go down there. I kind of keep this on top of that, and then I just set like my chicken and like my creamer, and it's kind of like the cardboard boxes that I don't want to get soaking wet. I kind of just set it over here on this side, and then I'll drain it out periodically too, so that it doesn't get too high in water. But this has worked pretty well for me. The only problem is if I'm running out of space. Usually this side gets more full because it's like half full of ice, and then whatever I put on top of it, and then on this side only half the space usually gets utilized. So it's, if you're trying to fill up this whole thing, you'll end up having to kind of go back and forth. But for what I've needed it for, it's worked pretty well. Also, big fan of these clamps. Just throw it on there, clamps right down. So something I've been trying to figure out, I use this big box here as kind of my, it's like the box that I stick all the crap in that I would only ever use when I go camping, and it always just stays in there, so I can pick it up and go. And a lot of times I actually leave it in my truck, you know, daily. I have tools in there, just things that would be good to have in your vehicle regardless. But what I'm trying to figure out is I need another box. Basically I need some other container to just carry all this kind of stuff. So like paper plates, paper towels, the silverware, stuff like that, like my coffee bags, things that I don't keep in the vehicle, that I only bring out when I go camping. I need a container to put that in, and I've kind of been waiting because containers like these are pretty expensive, but I haven't necessarily wanted to go into a container like this. So this is like my car wash container. And this thing, you know, it's cracked all over. It breaks super easy. There's like holes on the bottom. It's a terrible container, and I usually have to buy a brand new one every year because the one that I'm using will start to just fall apart. So I don't really want to use that necessarily. And plus, I don't really like how it looks. I think it looks dumb, and I'm one of those guys that looks kind of matter. So I'm considering either getting another one of these containers, but the smaller version of it, and I'll just use that to put kind of like my food in, whatever snacks I want to bring out. Right now I'm just using this trash bag, kind of ghetto, but either that or trying to find a container that's kind of like in between this container and this container. And the kind of the deceiving thing about this container is when you're in the store, you buy it and you're looking at it brand new, it looks like it's a good container. You're like, all right, that looks decent, that's probably pretty sturdy, it'll be good enough, right? But it's really not. Like very quickly it starts to deteriorate, and it's not really a good container. So it's about the third time this thing is blown away. It's getting pretty windy, so this is like a little shoe. It's the little shoe thing holder. It slides up in there like that. You stick all your shoes and crap in there. But yeah, that's the third time that's slid off. So something I really like is this little thing under here. It's really nice. I just put all the extra tent stuff under there. Keeps it off the ground. When I put the tent away though, I can't really leave this stuff in here because it falls out or slides out because this isn't super tight. So, but it's nice for when the tent's already up. So this is kind of my power setup right now. So I just have these solar panels laid out, and they're kind of hooked up to this
to this Aimtron battery here. The only issue with these is, so with the panels, basically all of these panels have to be exposed. If you cover up this one panel and you have the rest of them exposed, it like cuts the amount of power that's going into the battery in half. And then if you have two of them not exposed, you're basically getting almost nothing. So you have to set it up so that all of them are exposed to the sun. That's why it's laying on the ground right now, because of where the sun is in the sky. I wanted to have it hang off the tent somewhere, but it's just so windy, and I wasn't able to get all the panels exposed. It wasn't really an option. So right now this is what I'm working with. So when I go camping, I just bring out one seasoning. It's that that all-purpose Greek seasoning. It says all-purpose, so I use it on everything. So I'm gonna time how long it takes to put this tent back together. Putting it back together definitely takes a little longer than setting it up, so we'll see. So came up at just about 10 minutes. So as you can see, the zipping up the cover is kind of the most time-consuming, difficult part. So that's kind of the difference between some of these more expensive tents and then the cheaper tents. Not that this tent's even really cheap to like a normal traditional tent.